Hello, it's Paul from Eat, Cook, Learn, Love Food, and today we're going to be cooking mushrooms. So mushrooms, even though it's autumn, going to winter, mushrooms are absolutely stunning at the moment and they have lots and lots of uses. So I went to the market this morning and got an array of different mushrooms. So we're just going to talk about a few of the different mushrooms we have here. So first of all, when you go and get your wild mushrooms yourself, just be very careful. As you know, they're very poisonous and can make you sick. So preparing some of these other mushrooms is we actually take off the husk that sort of they cling to make sure they're all separate. This separates the mushrooms, and you can just break these apart into little nodules. So they're one particular variety. That core, put that in your compost, and you'll probably get mushrooms next year from all the spores. Another mushroom, this is the same one, like so. Then we have some oyster mushrooms. Again, these are grown on clumps. We just break them apart so they all just become individual little mushrooms. And it's really nice to put a variety of mushrooms together. So it can be one particular mushroom, or it can be 6 different types of mushrooms. Some mushrooms all take different times to cook. So these abalone style mushrooms, when you're preparing them, just keep them together and put them aside. The next mushroom is going to be just a button mushroom, but quite large. These ones we're going to slice. Okay, just into little like slices. And pretty much what we're actually making is a mushroom, not a sauce, but we'll use the word a French mushroom compote. So you'll see the end result, but it's going to be a lot of different mushrooms cooked together and in turn called a mushroom compote. Then that mushroom compote can be served with the chicken, grilled fish, grilled steak. It's just another vegetable condiment to put with your meal. So it, again, can be made ahead of time. It can be made days before. Another mushroom is a field mushroom. Now these are going to let a lot of black ink out when they cook. So again, you can make, even though mushrooms, as you might know, have different colors, you can eliminate the field mushrooms by keeping the mushroom compote very white. I'm still going to put these ones in, but this time I'm going to keep these ones as stars. Nice big wedges, because you don't want everything sliced. You want things to stand out as a mushroom. These are our beautiful shiitake mushrooms. As you know, you can buy them in a tin. A lot of Asian restaurants have them, but these are fresh shiitake. And with these ones, we're just going to cut them into half. Okay, so once they're all cooked together, they will pretty much cook at the same time. Okay, so that's our shiitake mushrooms. But they're a beautiful thing and they're good for you. Okay, so with everything that's like a compote, you need a base. So what we're going to use is a leek. We're going to cook the leek down, and then we're going to add our mushrooms and some butter and herbs to make a mushroom compote. So you'll get to see all this over the course of this cooking class. Leeks are great. Any recipe you're doing, you can substitute onions for leeks. Leeks are a lot softer, less acidic, and really, really beautiful. To prepare your leek, don't waste too much, extra the green, but then what you want to do is cut the ends off, cut it in quarters like so, and really get it under a tap and wash out all that dirt. Okay, it's quite a dirty herb, or leek, so the actual dirt is only in the top part. So if you cut your leek from the bottom down here, it's all white, there's no need to wash it. The dirt's in the top. So sometimes if you're making soups, use the top bit, keep the beautiful bottom part for more sensitive or delicate dishes. Okay, once your leek is all washed, we actually then cut the leek into nice sort of pieces. Again, keep that for another dish. That's a beautiful thing. That can be cooked, steamed, eaten as a beautiful leek with poached eggs, lots of other dishes. So again, one vegetable is going to be used for many other dishes. In a nice hot pan, we get our oil. Not too much oil, just a bit. And we put our leek in. So we've got oil in the pan, our leek goes in. Next thing is we have to flavour that, and we're going to use garlic. Now, garlic should always be bought fresh. These are beautiful garlic cloves, whole heads of garlic, amazing thing, good for you. Instead of what I'm going to do in front of you today, it's actually good to have garlic already prepared in your fridge. So it's just a matter of having a nice little garlic afternoon, buying 3 heads of garlic, getting the garlic cloves, peeling each one individually into a clove of garlic, like so, chopping it all up, even using the food processor, put it into a cute little jar, like I have, put garlic in there, put it with oil, keep it in the fridge. That means you've got garlic at your disposal 24/7. For this particular recipe, I haven't got any garlic prepared in the fridge, but what we're going to do is just peel, say 3 cloves of garlic. If you love garlic, you put more in. It's not going to hurt the recipe or hurt you. It's just a matter of what you like. So we've got 3 cloves of garlic. We're going to cut these cloves of garlic just into beautiful slices, and they are going to go into our leek mixture. Now, some of you may say, oh, how long do I cook this for? So, any sort of onion, carrot, celery, you would cook that for at least half an hour on low to make it really soft. Because it's leek and garlic, I would suggest about 10 minutes to really give that a nice sort of translucent and soft appearance. Because they're leeks, they don't take as long as onions. Now, in that leek garlic mixture, we're going to add some herbs. So we've got our beautiful rosemary. And again, rosemary is very strong. But rather than chop things up, you can just put in a couple of branches, and we can put in 3 bay leaves, fresh bay leaves. And that gets back to our next thing about herbs. So with herbs in particular, these are not flowers, these are fresh herbs. So fresh herbs, even parsley, push that aside, fresh herbs like dill, basil, Thai basil should always be thrown at the end, never cooked with the food. Things like parsley, sage, rosemary, your woody herbs get put in the beginning, so all those flavours come out. Parsley is one you can throw it at the end or put it in at the beginning. But don't store your herbs like flowers. What you actually do is you get your herbs, get a nice bunch of herbs, get it home, put it under a tap, wash it, give it a good shake, put it into a plastic bag or chuck super white first. So I've got some chucks here. So wrap it in the chucks, put it into a plastic bag, put it into your fridge. This will stay like it is for about a good month, okay? It will not rot or go slimy. When they're on the kitchen bench, you'll find they will smell and go slimy. So you can see we're getting a little bit of colour on our garlic, our leek. Next step is we're going to add our mushrooms. So we're going to add our woodier mushrooms first. So you can turn the heat back up on the pan. We're also going to add a big couple of knobs of butter. Butter, leek and mushrooms are a marriage in heaven. Butter just brings out the beautiful flavour of the mushrooms. So we're going to turn that up high and give that a bit of a cook up. Fresh ground pepper. White pepper or black pepper is fine. If you wanted to, you could give a splash of white wine in there right now. White wine will make the whole pan sizzle, and it'll actually just make things cook a lot faster. Okay, so you can see how the mushrooms are cooking now with our leek, butter and herbs, salt and pepper. And then we'll just place our other mushrooms on top. And what we're looking for here is just everything to collapse, fall apart into a nice, soft, wet mushroom mixture. Once it's made, which you'll see, is put aside to reheat it, put it back in the pan and serve it as some complement to meat, roast chicken, roast fish, grilled meats, or even like a mushroom omelette. Okay, so they're cooking nicely. Another thing too about mushrooms is it's a bit of trial and error. So these are king oyster mushrooms. Again, these actually can taste like meat in the sense they've got texture, they're beautiful. You could put these into this particular dish, but again, they're expensive. You're best to treat these mushrooms just by cutting the end off, cutting it in half, and that, again, oil, salt and pepper, grilled, is a beautiful thing to have with your food. These are king oyster mushrooms. So you can see how these are cooking down. It's a beautiful mixture, but you would cook this now for, I'd say, about 20 minutes until all the mushrooms are really soft. These beautiful enoki mushrooms. These mushrooms, and again, like all the other mushrooms we're using, they will not disintegrate. Every mushroom will hold shape and be a beautiful thing in that mix. So these mushrooms, we actually just take apart, so there's about 1 centimetre per clump. And what you'll find with these is as you crunch and eat them, this is just going to be an amazing, beautiful texture. Okay. Some other uses for these particular mushrooms, if you're making a miso soup, just get a clump of them, drop them in, and they basically cook instantly. You will have to remember though, some mushrooms are different to other mushrooms. So the king oyster mushroom, quite powerful and meaty. The field mushroom we used before, a lot of black ink will come out of it, and it takes longer to cook. So it's trial and error, and it's fun. So have fun cooking with your beautiful mushrooms. Okay. But there's no recipe for the amounts. Whether they're all enoki and leek, whether they're all shiitake and leek, that doesn't matter. Combining 6 different mushrooms together is perfect. However, there are some rules. So, for instance, pine mushrooms, you'll find that, again, they're so fragrant and foresty, they don't lend themselves to this dish. But again, you're meant to have fun with cooking, and trial and error is what it's all about. Okay, so here we have our mushrooms cooking away. Now some of you might say, oh, why did you add the enoki last? Again, they don't take as long to cook, but you'll work this out for yourself. But like I said, they will not disintegrate. And a really nice trick to add to something like this is to add some tin mushrooms, just to give it a little bit. I'll show you when I open this can up. Okay, so these little slimy suckers, they're in the tins. You get this nice umami of stock in the tin, like white wine or stock. The mushrooms are very soft and wet. So we're just going to put a bit of that juice in there. Drain the rest of the juice off. And these little whole shiitakes are going to give another nice little flavour to our dish. See that? So if you're a vegan or vegetarian, you don't have to put the butter in. This is your mushroom compote. You don't want to overcook it. Something like this is actually stunning and ready to go. This can then be cooled, put in the fridge, and last for a couple of days, and you just take from it as you need it. But it's a beautiful thing to have at your disposal. So again, we're not giving you recipes to say it's beef with mushrooms, trying to get you to love mushrooms, put them all together, make them into a beautiful thing, and have them for lots of different dishes over the week. And put that into my bowl. There we have our beautiful sauteed mushrooms with leek. Don't they look delicious? Thank you, and enjoy eating mushrooms.